Anything mentioned in this program is not intended or directed towards anyone specific. Copyright of Radio Bula Masti.
Hi, I'm lawyer Steve Cooner of the law firm of Steve Cooner Law Corporation. If you have an ICBC car accident claim, real estate transaction, will, or business law matter, contact us at Steve Cooner Law Corporation. 604-322-0022. That's 604-322-0022. Or visit us at stevecoonerlawcorp.com. If you want a friendly and competent legal team in your corner, contact Steve Cooner Law Corporation.
East or the West, forget the rest. Radio Bula Masti is the best. You're listening to your number one hit radio station, Radio Bula Masti. It's so awesome.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सत श्री अकाल, नीसम बुला। आप सभी को स्वागत करती हूँ रेडियो बुला मस्ती पर। You can listen to our programs from anywhere in the world. Just have to go onto the internet, www.radiobulamasti.com. And with me in my studios today, I have Mr. Atish Ram. Welcome Atish once again to Bula Masti studio. Jai ho, Nisam Bula. You can't hear yourself. Oh, I see. Okay, how about now? Let's see.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's better. That was a test to see if you
if I'm
have,
listening.
if you're listening. Yeah.
If the how do you test if the audience is listening?
Audience is listening, I know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get some live feed, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
And if they can't hear us, we'll be getting phone calls. So no news is good news. We will be getting phone calls if the listeners can't listen.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
to you and your team here at Radio Bula Masti. You guys are doing an incredible job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so proud of you. Voice of the Fusion, voice of the Fiji Islands.
Voice of the nation.
The nation that is stopping the virus, that coronavirus.
Yes.
I stopped drinking Corona, you know that, just because of that.
Finally,
I switched to Heineken now.
Finally, something worked for you.
Yeah.
So with me, I have Mr. Atish Ram, like I said, and I'm very excited. And since I saw you, I've been giggling. Because
I'm a funny guy.
You are funny.
I'm quite famous now.
You are.
With a 4-letter word.
Right?
Yeah.
What is that 4-letter word? So for those of you who didn't watch the video, don't know Atish Ram, Atish has been involved in the community for a very, very long time. And Atish, how long have you been in Canada for?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a good question. Hey, this is going to be my 50th year.
50th year in Canada.
In March 24th, it'll be 50 years in Canada.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. And you better get this right this time.
Okay.
How long have you been married for?
Oh, yeah. 28 years. 28 years. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to get Mandy online to see. Right?
Yeah. But we've been together for a lot longer, 33 years.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, well, I'll have to ask you the secret after the show. There'll be a show after the show.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's the private show.
That's right. Yeah. So once again, you tuned into radiobulamasti.com, and Atish Ram, the reason why I have him on this platform today is because recently we watched him all on TV, and he was part of the Family Feud show. So Atish, before I even get to the experience that you want to share, how about I would like to know is what made you want to go into one of the shows?
It was by fluke,
Mm-hmm.
but and I guess, hello viewers. I think one of the reasons I agreed to come on the show, because I hate being in front of the camera. I like being behind the camera, but what I'm going to tell you guys is what a phenomenal experience was and what kind of led up to this experience, which really kind of transcends with me and also baffles me when I tell you the story. And actually today, the Leader newspaper, if you live in Surrey, the Surrey Leader, they have a story on it.
Okay.
I think third page in whatever, right? Well, I've been kind of going through a lot of medical issues as well.
Health issues, yeah.
But my father passed away in 2017, December. And it was December 14th, 2017 when I at his funeral, at his eulogy, in part of my eulogy, I said to him, I go, one day I'm going to put your name in the spotlight.
Wow.
I said that, and I said, I'm going to, one day, Ram ke naam, upar karenge. I will.
Were you very close to your dad?
I mean, I was close to my dad. I can say I was close to my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my dad, right?
Of course,
how
yeah,
can
yeah,
you not
yeah.
be, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he was a strict guy, but we all loved him, and we were all, that's your
Yeah.
father, right?
You know how some kids are really attached to their parents,
Yeah.
and some are, not as clingy.
I as you grow older, you grow apart as well, right?
Yeah,
Because
for
you
sure.
you have your own family and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
But as a kid, he's one of the guys that actually got me into the film industry,
Oh, I
the
see.
television
Okay.
industry, and I didn't know that because the thing was that I when I was little, I remember this in Fiji. He used to go play soccer, and then he would love movies, so he would go to the movie theater and you'd watch a movie, and he'd take me with him,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and
Yeah,
and I remember before we came to Canada. I think I was 7 years old, and he took us all to see a movie. It was called Takdeer.
yeah. Okay.
It's a black and white film, and
Yeah,
there was a song in
wow.
there, Saat Samandar Par.
Oh,
Yes,
yes, yes.
remember that song?
Yeah.
And I actually used that in his tribute video, right? And I remember when he left, I cried and cried the entire day,
Oh, yeah.
and I realized what it was like to be apart from somebody. I didn't know he was going to come back. I didn't know what he was doing. I
Yeah.
just saw the Oriana ship sail away,
Oh.
and that was my memory. But I also remember, him. I was his little baby. His nickname for me was Pooh. And so so you always feel the good memories about your loved ones,
Yes,
always,
yes,
no matter
of
what,
course,
right? You
yeah.
forget all the bad things or
Mhm,
whatever. I mean, yeah, he disciplined us and
Well,
everything
they
like,
have
like
to,
anybody.
yeah. Otherwise,
right?
you wouldn't turn out the way you
yeah,
did.
yeah. Otherwise, I'd be really badmas, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, so to me, he went through a lot of diabetes and dialysis and everything,
I see.
so he suffered quite a bit, but he was such an incredible strong man, right? He had so much strength. I mean, resilient, and he was very giving. Like he helped people
Yeah.
randomly, and that's like just randomly he would help people. Pick up strangers and bring them to the house and feed them, and that's the kind of charitable side of him. He's he always taught us to
give.
well, to just be kind to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Be careful with. There's not everybody's equal or same,
Yeah,
not equal but the same.
Yeah.
There's people that want to take advantage of you. There's people that want to backstab you, but there's a lot of good people out
Yeah,
there, right?
yeah.
But as long as you are good in your heart and you do good for others
Yes.
and don't expect anything in return, God will find you a good path,
Some ways,
right?
yeah.
But we get so caught up in whatever.
day-to-day
but
routine,
yeah,
yeah.
we're just so caught up. But
Uh-huh.
but anyways, going back to this experience, what it was basically so on the funeral, December 14th, 2017. I said to him, I said, one day I'm going to put the Ram name in
Yeah.
spotlight,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And and then I started. After that, after the following year, I started having, issues with my heart and everything, and I
Uh-huh.
was going to the emergency,
Mhm.
and they're trying to figure out what's going on and
Mhm.
everything, whatever. And it's actually started the exact the 13th day puja that we did. It was the the day that we finished.
Mhm.
That's the day it started happening.
Mhm.
And I did discounted it, whatever. I
Yeah,
didn't think
yeah.
it was nothing. It was just
That's your
stress and everything.
health
Well,
problems.
the thing was, it was you're going through grief,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking you're going through grief, you're going through stress, and your body's kind of
Yeah.
telling you something
You don't
as well.
pay too much attention because
You don't.
you are focusing on the stress and
Yeah.
losing your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were going so and as a and I was kind of being a little rebellious too, because when a lot of times when people are going through grief,
Mhm.
they try to avoid it.
Yes.
So they
Yeah.
try to do
Mhm.
things. So we're going out,
Yeah,
having fun
yeah.
and this and that,
Uh-huh.
whatever, and try to, avoid any of
Mhm,
that, right?
mhm.
And then, of course, when somebody passes away, there's also the family dynamics, family drama,
Yeah,
and all that
yeah.
stuff happens as
Mhm.
well, right? And I just started kind of just distancing myself away from all that.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I'm just going to distance myself away from that. But in the meantime, I was having these health issues that I never had before,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
I thought I was perfectly healthy and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
but I was, as a comfort for the grief, I was eating bad.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was eating
Mhm.
fatty foods
Yeah.
and fast foods
Yeah.
and not really
And
looking
that's
after my
quite
health.
normal when a lot of
Comfort.
people, when they grieve, they go through.
Chocolates, like all
Yeah.
these things you're eating because it makes you feel good. But
Yeah.
you're
Mentally.
yeah. So then one day, I remember it was July, and we were actually, my wife and I were just walking at the beach, Second Beach, right? And meantime, I was going to see seeing my doctor and everything, whatever, right? And they were running tests and everything, and my sugar was high, and but my test came out fine, like
Yeah.
it was good,
Yeah.
right? Like treadmill tests and everything, nothing showed up, right?
Yeah.
So we're walking on the beach, and all of a sudden my heart started just racing, and it was just nonstop, and I knew there was something wrong. It was like 9:30 at night, and then I thought, okay, it'll go, whatever, right? Taking a deep breath, and then all of a sudden it just started going crazy, and then I realized that I said to Mandy, I said, you better call an ambulance. I don't think there's something wrong here. So we went across the street to this hotel, and I pretty much collapsed. She called the ambulance. Ambulance showed up, took me to St. Paul's Hospital, and they test, gave me medication, whatever. They said, go to see a cardiologist tomorrow. And that was it.
Yeah.
But my heart was racing like 200, 240 beats a minute, right? And they couldn't figure out why, right? So then I went back to the doctor, gave me medications. And throughout that summer, actually, in August, I was going to shoot a wedding, and I actually had that thing happen to me, and I ended up in Saanich Hospital.
Wow.
Right? So every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was ending up in the hospital. They couldn't figure out what was going on. They thought, it's AFib, atrial fibrillation, or whatever, right? So then September, I was sitting around, and I ended up getting, it started again, right?
Yeah.
And went to the hospital, Surrey Memorial Hospital, and they said, well, you've lost blood. You've lost 2/3 of your blood in your body. You're anemic. You're about to go into cardiac arrest.
Wow.
So they admitted me for 10 days. So I was in there for 10 days.
Yeah.
And they did all sorts of tests and everything, whatever. They gave me blood transfusion and everything, and then sent me back home 10 days later, fine. And then I ended up getting low iron. And it was just like one thing after another. And every 3 weeks I went to the hospital 17 times.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why you didn't see me in the public too much, because I was kind of dealing with this stuff, whatever, but I also was dealing with the grief and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And, so that went by, and then and then the system that we have in our medical system is so slow, in diagnosing people.
At times you have to wait. There's a long wait to get into.
9 hours. I waited in
Yeah.
emergency before they figured it out. But even then, I still wasn't, I had to go see a specialist and, different specialists or whatever, right? So, but having the issues with my health was one thing, right? So last year in June, I'm sitting around and I look on Facebook page and I see there's a thing on Family Feud.
Yeah.
So I said, oh, what the heck, I'm just going to apply for it, right? And I just went there, applied for it. They tell you to, why you want to be on the show and a little bit bio about your family. And I said, well, we're just we're a mixed race family, and because my wife is from Iran, and so I said, we are, we like fun, we like to be around people and everything, whatever. Like we like.
So just out of nowhere, you filled out the form, submitted it,
and just do a short little bio, whatever, right? And you're supposed to submit a video. I didn't even submit a video. I just did that, and then I didn't tell these guys about it, right? And then. The following month, July, right? I got a email. I said, they said, well, thank you for your submission and everything, whatever. We're kind of interested in you, whatever. So then that's when I told my wife and the kids. My wife got excited. She goes, oh, we're going to be on. I said, no, this is just an email. I mean, this is a standard email.
You weren't sure. Nothing came, didn't make too much out of it.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I wasn't counting on it, And then all of a sudden, I got an email saying, we want to do a Skype interview with you guys.
Oh, wow.
So I had to coordinate the kids and myself and Mandy. And
you have 3 kids?
You have 3 kids, right? So we had to coordinate it. And we got a Skype interview done live from Toronto, because the producer was in Toronto. And she she played the game with us and everything, and kind of saw the dynamics of the family and everything, right? And she goes, you know what? She goes, we really like you. We're going to audition you. Can we audition you in August? I think it was 27th or something like that, right? And I said, okay. We had gone. I said, we're going camping, and we're going to be back the next day. So
at that time, did you take it seriously, or did you still think
at that time? Well, no. At that time, I said, okay, we got an audition, right? So that's great.
Yeah.
that they were interested in
Uh-huh.
seeing us live,
Yes.
right? I mean, applying is one thing,
Mhm.
doing the Skype
This
interview,
is
the
like a
second
second
step.
step.
This is the third
Yeah.
step, right?
Okay,
So them actually seeing you. So we went there. We were tired. We came from camping the night before. We went, got all dressed up and everything. Went to Hotel Vancouver, like Fairmont Hotel, right? And there's 40 families there.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and auditioned. They played with different families,
Mm-hmm.
but that experience in itself was so much fun. Like we had so much fun.
Yeah.
The producers from Toronto were there and everything. So we played with different families from different parts of the.
So were you the only Fijian family
Only
there?
Fijian family.
Yeah.
There was a couple of other Indian families as well.
I see. Okay.
But I think we were the only Fijian family.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't ask for anybody's races, but
Uh-huh.
but the groups of people that were like, and they were everybody was cheering for everybody.
Uh-huh.
And everybody was like, it wasn't like a competition. It was like a really good atmosphere, right? So after we did that and everything, and they said, okay, well, you know what? Don't call us. We'll call you.
Mm-hmm.
We've had many people apply, and we're just going across Canada, and we're trying to pick the best families that we think it'll look good on television or whatever the reasons are, right? So we went back and we went to the Sichuan restaurant, which is one of my dad's favorite
I was
restaurants.
just gonna get to that point
Yeah.
about the fortune cookie.
Yeah. So we went right after that. We went and we had. I said, "I'll treat you guys to food, whatever you know." And the kids love it, and it was my dad's favorite food as well, right? We went there. After we ate, we get a fortune cookie, and I opened up my fortune cookie, and there's two little fortunes came out of in one fortune cookie. And I looked at my daughter Jasmine. I said, Jasmine, look at this. And she goes, oh my God. And it says a television program will give you great impetus, right? And I took a picture of it.
And this is right after you had gone for your audition. Right? Yeah.
And that's when I knew I was going to be on the show. I
knew you were selected.
I knew, in my heart, I knew that I said, we're going to be on the show, right? This is, whatever, right? Because this is a sign. Right.
Yeah.
And
now, who believes in these fortune cookies? We look at it and we're like,
I don't. I don't. But this was
because you had just come from the audition.
Well, it was different because I've opened so many fortune cookies, right? And I said, oh yeah, whatever, right? You know. But it just to me it was a different feeling. Like I just knew.
Yeah.
And I was so confident that I knew that was going to happen, right? And then I took a picture of it, and there was another fortune that says, a big change in your future is coming, right? And so I took a picture of it, and I kept it on my phone, and then just before Diwali, so a couple of months went by, so August, September, October now happens, right? So October comes along, and I get this call just before Diwali, and that weekend I was having dreams. I had a dream that we went to Toronto, and my kids and we went out the night before. We got so drunk that we got disqualified.
Oh, were you thinking too much about this?
No, I wasn't. It was just coming in my dream, right?
And
I completely forgot about it, right? Yeah. The kids were asking, did you hear anything? Blah, blah. I said, no, I didn't. Don't worry about it. It's one of these, it's a process of auditioning. I know that because I've auditioned for so many different things.
Yeah.
It's a process, right? And if you don't hear about it, then don't get caught up in it, right? And don't think there's something wrong with you, right? Because it's just a process. It's what they're looking for. I don't know what they're looking for, right? And there were so many incredible families that were there with us, 40 of them, right?
Yes.
And then so she phones me and she goes, and then I'm telling Mandy, I said, I'm having this dream. And then we went to Toronto, and she goes, oh, okay, whatever. She didn't pay attention to me like normally she doesn't, anyways. And then, like any wife,
tried, tested, and true.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no, whatever. What is he thinking? Whatever.
Let him talk.
Yeah. So Monday morning, 9:00, I get this phone call, and it's Toronto, and the girl Chloe, she goes to me, she goes, oh hi, it's Atish. She's Chloe from Toronto. I said, oh hi, how you doing? I said, I was having dreams about you guys. She goes, what'd you dream about?
Oh no.
So I told her. She starts laughing. She goes, oh my God. She goes, we love you guys, and we want you guys to come to Toronto.
Nice.
And I said, oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. I said, oh my God, I'm going to fool my kids today. I'm going to tell them we didn't get it. She goes, okay, record that, right, and send it to us. Yeah. And so anyway, so then I said, okay, when do you want us to come down? She goes, well, we want you to come down for December 14th. And I go, what? And she goes, that's the day we want you guys to be here in Toronto. We want you guys to be there.
Okay.
I said, okay. And then I put the phone down, and I was kind of shocked.
Let's take a quick break here, because now we're going to go into something different. Second part of it, what happens when you got that call December 14th,
2 years to the day
your dad had passed away,
that I promised my dad I would.
Okay, so let's take a quick break. What happens after that? Right after this break.
Okay.
In a world of technology, the future is online. Tune in to www.radiobulamasi.com. radiobulamasi.com.
यादों की फूल बरसाते भूली बातें याद कराते सुबह पर लाते दिल की बात पुराने नगमे धीर नायर के साथ सुहाना सफर हर रविवार यानी संडे की शाम 3 से 5 बजे के बीच रेडियो बुलंदी के माध्यम पर
सुनो ना सुनो ना सुन लो ना।
मैं सुभान अली सरी डीसी से रेडियो बुला मस्ती सुन रहा हूँ गूगल मिनी पर। आप भी सुनिए, ये मस्ती नहीं है सस्ती।
प्यार हो तो कह दो ये, प्यार नहीं तो कह दो नो। फिर जो है
हुजूर तुमको सितारों में ले चलो।
Advertise your business with Radio Bula Masti. You will get the best advertising rates plus better reward. What are you waiting for? Call now 604-427-0291. Again, our phone number is 604-427-0291 or email us at radiobulamasti@gmail.com. Advertise your business with Radio Bula Masti.
जुड़े रहो हमारे साथ दोस्तों radiobulamasti.com पर द वॉइस ऑफ द नेशन स्टेशन ऑफ द फ्यूजन। और हाँ, we try to entertain everyone we can and try to support everyone and anyone we can. Once again, you are joined in on Radio Bula Masti with Aisha, and with me I have Mr. Atish Ram. Atish,
We inspire too.
we do inspire.
Yeah, you have to
Yes.
inspire people as well.
Yes,
right?
we do inspire. So
December 14th,
December 14th.
2 years to the day
Uh-huh.
that I promised my dad that I'm going to put his name in lights, in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just dumbfounded.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh my God, right?
Yeah.
But
What are
that-
the chances of that
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
date?
So this is in October. So we couldn't tell anybody. They told us, don't tell anybody right now because we want to finalize everything
Okay.
and everything, whatever, right? I said,
Mhm.
okay, fine. So we waited. But then I was also having my health issues,
Yes. Uh-huh.
right? So I was having my health issues. I'm talking to my wife and go, like the kids are excited. I mean, are we going to be able to travel? Are we going to do
Mhm.
this? What if something happens to me at 37,000 feet? Like what's going to happen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was worried about that. And then mid-November, I started having issues with my heart, and I went back to the hospital.
Mm.
And they checked me out. They said, you have vertigo, like room is spinning.
Mhm.
So they sent me back home. 5 days later, I'm still having these issues. And my neighbor comes in, he goes, Atish, I don't care. Go to the hospital now. I said, well, I was there. No, go. So we went back again, right? Went back again. And they assessed me and everything. They did some more chest tests, whatever, and they sent me back home. They said, call your doctor tomorrow, right? So what happened was I couldn't call the doctor. But the room was spinning. I had vertigo, right? I couldn't even do anything. And finally, the Thursday, I phoned them up and I said, look, what's going on here, right? And she goes, well, we saw something in the but the doctor will give you a call. And I go, we're going to have to do more tests. And I said, okay, well, this is not right. She goes, well, I go, well, how long will that be? She goes, probably in a month or two.
At that point, did you think that you'd have to cancel this opportunity?
Yeah, I was debating. I was, back, but the kids were excited and everything,
Yeah.
but I said, you know what? Okay, we'll just see. But what happened was the Friday, and the Friday I get a call and they said, we need you in the hospital tomorrow.
Wow.
And they get me in the next day and they do the CT scan and they do the angiogram and they found blocked arteries.
Wow.
And they were able to unblock them and everything, whatever, right? This is above and beyond what I was actually going through, because I had
Yes,
another surgery in May as well, right? For ablation, which was
Yeah.
for heart arrhythmia. And
But I'm surprised at that time. Okay, but anyways,
because
we'll
that's
carry on.
that's
That's a
electrical issue,
separate-
and this is like a plumbing issue, right?
Ah.
Artery is a plumbing issue, and that other thing is an electrical issue. But
Good way of
is-
explaining
yeah,
it.
well, that's
Yeah.
what they told me.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So AFib is basically where the nerves are firing for the heart to beat. But
at least they found a heart.
Well,
in you, right?
A big one too, right?
A big one,
a big one, yeah. So
but it had some troubles.
It had some hiccups, right? And so, anyways, they did the thing, whatever came out of it, and everything, and I looked at my wife. I said, I said, I think I'm good to go. I think we got to go. Like we're gonna go. Wow. We'll do this, right?
Yeah.
And that particular day, actually, I had won the award, the Volunteer of the Year award. The leader,
the big one. Yeah.
So they did a press release. CBC did a press release, and I asked the girl. I said, so how many people did you guys select? They said, well, 2,000 families applied.
Oh wow!
We auditioned 685 families. Out of the 680 families, we chose 60 families. Right.
So 2,000 people applied for this Family Feud game.
Yeah. And 685 actually auditioned across Canada, like from Newfoundland all the way to Victoria, right?
Wow.
Like, Vancouver.
Oh, that's a big number.
Yeah. So they auditioned 685 families. 40 of them from Vancouver, like British Columbia, right? Out of the 40 in British Columbia, they chose 5, and we were one of them.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah.
And I go, well, that's a pretty big statistics to me, the chances, whatever, right? But I knew this was going to happen. Like I knew that, like, this is my dad involved somehow, because it can't be like it's, and I told this to the kids, and I said, look at the sequence of things that are happening.
So you're quite superstitious as well.
Well, it's not the superstitious thing, whatever, right? Because it's basically I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a crazy religious person, whatever, but I'm a spiritual person, right? And I believe that people don't really leave you. They're around you, and this is proof. Right, because so we fly out in December. We go to the Family Feud thing, whatever, and we were there. They put us in a nice 5-star hotel. Christmas time, the atmosphere was so good. The kids, the family were just amazing. We haven't had traveled for 2 years because of my issues. And
how did the kids feel? How old are the kids?
Kids, Tyler, like he's 27, Ryan's 23, and Jasmine's 18, right? So they were excited too. Well, they'd never been to Toronto, so they wanted to watch the Raptors game, right?
Okay, yeah. So what did your wife say at that point, Mandy?
Oh, she was gung ho. We were worried about the other thing was everybody's working too, right? So can they get time off at Christmas time as well?
Exactly, yeah.
Because my second son Ryan, he works in retail, and what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And my older son Tyler, he works at the school board. So and so it just worked out that I said, just tell them what's going on. And all their bosses, even my wife, they said, oh, go.
Quite
understanding. This is go for
an
it.
opportunity of a lifetime, basically.
So they and it was so easy that their bosses said, yeah, go. Are you kidding me? What are you gonna do here for goal, right? So we go to Toronto, we go there, and we stayed at a nice hotel. They paid for our food, they paid for everything, right? It was like a vacation,
mini vacation.
Yeah, it was like, but you didn't have to pay no bill.
Yes, yeah,
right?
Exactly, yeah.
And we spoiled ourselves, right? And then we went into the studio to tape, and we all got dressed up and ready to go. And then we went and did a practice. We met all the families and everything, whatever. We practiced and everything, whatever. And then we came back up, and we're ready to go down and tape. And all of a sudden, the executive producer comes up and says, we're having some technical issues. So
no way.
She goes, he goes, I'm sorry about this and everything. We can't tape the show.
Oh wow.
So we're gonna have to send all you guys back
home.
Like there's people from Newfoundland, Manitoba, Winnipeg, us from BC, but we're gonna bring you guys back. And I'm sorry, but there's been an emergency and whatever, right? So okay, but anyways, enjoy yourself, stay here, we're gonna pay for everything, blah blah blah. So we ended up staying there till Thursday. So we left on Friday, came back on Thursday, and we had a blast. And the thing about it was, like, my wife got to see a cousin that she hadn't seen since she was 10 years old.
Oh my goodness!
And they met after 40 years, right? Wow. And I met with one of the girls on Zindagi that used to be on there. She's an executive producer, right? And of Entertainment Tonight, Canada. And
they're all there at this.
They live in Toronto.
Oh, I see.
So we got to go out, and we saw them, and a few other people we kind of met, that we hadn't seen for a long time. We kind of reconnected. So we had a blast. So it became a vacation. Then we came back, and then we had to still stay quiet. So now people are asking us, what did you guys do?
But you didn't.
No.
That was like a rehearsal.
But they didn't believe that. They thought we were lying.
Oh, I see.
And we had to go back again. They said, oh, you guys won, and you got to go back. I said, no, we can't say anything because we signed a non-disclosure agreement.
I see. Okay.
And they said, don't say anything to anybody, no matter what, blah, 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 whatever. So we were like, okay, we can't say anything,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
When I got back, we saw the coverage on like a full page coverage on our story
Mhm.
by the leader,
Mhm.
right? So they did that story on us, whatever, right? And
Mhm.
and everything, right? About the coincidence, of my dad and me saying this
Mhm.
stuff, right? And then so then after Christmas and everything, whatever, then we went back on January 3rd,
Mhm.
right? We had to go back,
Mhm.
and we went there, and then
For a retake, basically,
basically
or
to actually tape the show.
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
we went there, met again incredible families, and I tell you,
Did you meet those same? It was
we
the same people, right? That,
well,
that had to
two
come
families
back.
were the same, and then there was two different ones.
Oh, I see.
Right,
Okay.
and then we met the Newfoundland people. They
Mhm.
were just so nice. They came from a town of 54.
My goodness.
They
So they
came
all
there.
knew each other.
Yeah, and there was only like 49 people that were there. They
Yeah.
were incredible,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And we met people from Winnipeg, and they were
Mhm.
just Rihanna, Aisha. The thing is, I've been in the public eye, and I've been to a lot of
Mhm,
events and
mhm.
everything, whatever, and I've had a lot of respect from
Mhm.
people, and never have I ever in my entire life have ever experienced so much love, and nobody judged you.
Mm. Yeah.
Everybody was cheering for
Mhm,
you. Everybody was so incredible. The staff,
Happy for you.
the
Yeah.
families
Yeah.
that we played and everything like that. It was such an amazing
Uh-huh,
atmosphere.
uh-huh.
And then
Positive
and
environment.
then when we went downstairs, my wife points out, she goes, "Look at that," and our name was up there, right,
Oh, I
Rab.
see. Okay.
And I teared up,
Yeah.
and I said, "This is for my dad. This is what
Yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
for my
yeah,
dad."
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this is why I couldn't understand what was manifesting.
Oh, it's giving me goosebumps
Yeah,
there.
I
Yeah.
could, and when I saw this,
Yeah.
the big, billboard of, where we're gonna stand,
Mhm, mhm.
and the name, it says Ram, and it
Mhm.
says, Surrey, BC, and
Mhm.
I said, "This is it. This is
Mhm.
what I promised my dad,"
Mhm.
And so we did it. We went and played, obviously,
Mhm.
whatever, right? And it was quite funny because it went
Mhm.
viral. We'll talk about that in a second. But
I can't
but
wait to get to that
yeah,
part.
we'll get to that part, which was a lot of fun. But it went fast, and we were in a live audience too. There's
Yeah,
like 200 people in the
Mhm.
audience,
Oh,
right?
wow.
The crew and audience, like
Mhm.
160 people in the audience, and the
Mhm.
crew, right?
What was going on in your mind at that point while you guys were there?
We were, I mean, for myself, I mean, we were all kind of nervous, but we were used to being in front of the camera too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we went there, but it was like when you walked on stage, they called your name, and you walked on stage, and the computer actually randomly picked which family would play with who.
Oh, I
So
see.
we
Okay.
were like,
Okay.
so there was another family that went before us, and then
Mhm.
we had to go to the second, right?
Mhm.
So the computer kind of chooses that, right? And the questions actually you don't get those questions. You get it right. The host, Jerry
It's
D,
live. It's
he
live.
gets the question right there and then, and he asks.
Oh,
So
I
he
see.
sees it
Okay.
for the first
Yeah.
time.
And he
right?
doesn't even know the
He
answers,
doesn't
right?
know.
It's whatever's
No.
on the board.
Yeah, he knows the
Okay,
question.
Okay.
That's
So I'm
it.
gonna jump to that show because I watched it.
Yeah.
And when they asked for your name,
Yeah.
you said Atish, like sneeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, it sounds like Atish. Where'd that come from? Where that really came from was when I got my first job when I was 15 years old. I got a job
Uh-huh.
at McDonald's, right?
Okay.
And the manager, like, we had to stand up and introduce ourselves, right?
Mhm.
And when I said my name,
Mhm.
he didn't understand. He goes, "Oh, Achu,
Oh.
Achu." Right? And I said, "Yeah, Atish, it's like a sneeze."
Yeah,
Ach, you know
yeah.
what I mean, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's how that actually came.
I see.
But I
okay.
was kind of joking with him because it's entertainment, right? You have
Mhm.
to be
Of
bigger than
course,
life,
yeah, yeah.
and he's a comedian
Mhm,
too,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So it was, I said, yeah,
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
make sure, and
Uh-huh.
he got it. He was
Yeah,
saying Atish,
yeah,
whatever, right?
I loved it. I just
Yeah.
cracked. It just
Yeah.
cracked me up. And what made me really proud was when you said that we're originally from Fiji
Yes,
Islands.
that's important
You
to me.
know, that was like, oh my God, someone from Fiji representing
yeah.
us out there.
No, it's the fact that, you know what, it's the truth.
Mhm.
You have to be honest, right?
Of course.
And
yeah.
the thing is, I'm proud of my culture.
Yeah,
I'm proud of my
yeah.
community, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not going to go up there and pretend somebody I'm not,
Of course.
right? And I wanted to get that in there, that
Yeah.
I'm originally from the Fiji Islands.
Yeah.
I'm Canadian,
Yeah.
but I'm from Fiji Islands.
And I heard the audience go, oh wow.
Yeah,
Right.
because they never.
Yeah.
And even when we went to commercial break,
Yeah.
the host came up to me. He goes, "Where's Fiji Islands?" I go, "You don't know where Fiji Islands is? Oh my God,
yeah.
it's a beautiful place." And
Uh-huh.
I had to show him my phone. And I said, "It's a
Uh-huh.
beautiful place." He goes, "I gotta go there." I said, "You
Mhm.
better go there because it's a gorgeous place."
Mhm,
I said, "They shoot the
Yeah.
reality show Survivor
Uh-huh,
there."
uh-huh, yeah.
And he goes, "Wow." She goes, "Okay," yeah. So then, of course, let's get it started, right? So the
So
first,
when you go up there,
yeah.
so you introduced, and then they introduced the
Yeah.
family as well, right?
Yeah, they did actually. We introduced the family, and they do a lot of editing too, right? So
I
there's a
see,
lot of
okay.
stuff they edited
I
out
see, okay.
because they, it's taping, right?
Yeah,
But you're in
yeah.
front of a live audience, though.
Mhm,
Like the
mhm.
audience, when we first went on, they announced your name. You go on there, the lights are all happening, and they got all these spotlights. You feel like a rock star because everybody's up and they're cheering,
Yeah, yeah.
and they play that song "We Are Family," and you're dancing, and they
Yeah.
get everybody up and
Oh,
energy and
wow.
everything. And
See, that's the part we didn't
you
see.
didn't see
Eh?
all that,
Those
yeah.
are behind
So the
the
first,
scene.
yes, for the first
Yeah.
15 minutes, you
Uh-huh.
go up on there and everybody's dancing, everybody's cheering, everybody's
Yeah.
clapping, and they just get you energized up, whatever. So I think 3 songs we actually
Oh,
were
wow,
dancing to
really?
it, right?
Wow,
Everybody,
okay.
right? And
Yeah.
the audience was dancing,
Yeah.
and then they roll the cameras and they go,
Mhm,
okay, we're
mhm.
starting now, and boom, get your
Mhm.
positions, and then they announce, and then
Mhm.
you start, and the thing goes by fast,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And again, we were there when we saw our name, and I remember my daughter coming up to me. She looks at me, and I had tears in my eyes because I saw my name up there. We're just
Yes, yeah.
backstage, right? And she goes, "Dad," like we're doing this for Aja,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And she goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah,"
Uh-huh.
and I go, "Well, you know what? It really doesn't matter." I go, "We're gonna have fun."
Uh-huh.
We discussed it the night before. We didn't even rehearse or anything like that. Whatever. I go, you know what? Whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah, yeah.
But we're gonna have a great time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is a memory that we're going to
Yes,
keep
yeah,
forever
yeah.
because this is amazing, right? And how we got on this platform
Mhm.
is what was keeping us going.
Yes, yeah.
How did we get here? Like,
Uh-huh.
we've been here twice already.
Yeah.
How did we get here? How did my
Not
heart
just
issue,
once, but twice. You got another
but how did
chance
my
to-
heart issue get rectified
Yeah.
2 weeks before?
Uh-huh.
How
Yeah.
but what was really unique was, and we'll end with this and then we'll come back after commercial, I guess, was
No,
that-
we'll carry on. We'll
Oh,
carry on.
okay.
Yeah, we'll carry on.
So one of
Uh-huh.
the unique thing was, so the experience there was amazing. So we went up there, and the first question,
Mhm.
right? And
So the first question
Yeah.
was, what do you Google repeatedly?
so here's the
so-
thing. Here's the thing. So I got to stop you there, because what you do is when you go up there
Yeah.
and you're ready to, because you, first of all, you don't know the question, so the question's coming to you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He doesn't know the question
Yeah.
because he's reading it for the
You
first
you
time.
you put on the spot
Yeah,
and come up with these answers.
but you have to also hit that buzzer before the other person hits the buzzer.
Yes, yeah.
So that's the skill part of it, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have to hit it. So and honestly, when I heard the question, the question was, like, what is something that you Google?
Yeah.
What is something that's most
Yeah,
Googled?
yeah.
I didn't hear the word repeatedly,
Oh, I see.
and I didn't
okay.
even know that
Yeah.
word was there until
Yeah.
I actually saw it on air.
Oh,
I said, wait a
see,
minute,
okay.
he said repeatedly?
Because you are in that
Yeah, because you got to hit that
environment, yeah.
buzzer, right?
There's so much going
Yeah,
on, right,
yeah.
around you.
So I said the word porn,
Yeah.
right?
So the question, let's ask our audience and our listeners out there. You tuned into radiobulamasti.com online. You can listen to us anywhere in the world, www.radiobulamasti.com. So when Atish was in this Family Feud show, the first question that came up was, what do you Google repeatedly? कौन सा ऐसा चीज है जो Google आप हर वक्त Google करते हो उसको, right? What do you Google the most?
Yeah, that
right?
sounds pretty bad, but the way you said it.
You can say it so many different ways, right? But I could not wait for this interview.
And the thing is, your mind, and the thing is, like, I'm always like, watching shows or, and in this industry,
Yeah.
like, I don't think there's anybody that's out there that's listening that has not Googled that.
So
Because I mean, unless you're a pundit, right?
So the question
yeah,
was,
yeah.
what do you Google repeatedly, right?
And I said porn,
Atish.
right? And anybody who's an adult, and the kids probably don't know this, but anybody who's an adult
Yeah.
will know what that is.
Did
whatever,
the kids say? Did your kids
Oh,
say
my
anything
kids were
afterwards?
embarrassed. they were like, Mandy was shocked, and Tyler and Jasmine were just looking at the audience saying, "Oh my God, what did my dad just do?" I didn't even realize I said it.
Yeah.
This is how profound it was, because I didn't realize I said it, right? But again, it's the top answer. It's 100 people surveyed, top answer, right? Or one of
But
the
it just
one of the
wasn't
8 one
on
of
the board.
But I'm thinking, and this whole clip went viral. There's 4
Uh-huh.
million people that
Yeah,
saw this
yeah,
clip,
yeah.
and I went and saw comments from
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
and everybody's backing me up. They
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Oh my God, you got robbed! You
Yeah.
got robbed!" Whatever,
Uh-huh.
or some of them said,
Well, some of the other questions that I watched the video a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
Some of the other questions that were on there, and I watched it with my kid and my family.
Yeah. The beaver question.
The answer, yeah.
What's okay? The beaver question. The beaver.
Some of the answers is like, where do they bring all these answers from?
Yeah, it's like like if you're a beaver, what would you make you stay in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and they said more beavers.
Yeah,
there was
she
one
said more beavers, and there's wood, there's lake, and I'm thinking like, what do beavers eat? I'm thinking fish.
Yeah.
I didn't think healthcare. What the hell, the beaver gonna,
Why did that
was
come
the beavers
from?
are getting more healthcare than I am?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for so many years to get
Some
out
of
there.
the answers just didn't make sense, but it's up there. It's whatever's on the.
Well, it's basically who they survey, and I think people are embarrassed to. When they're serving people, I think people are embarrassed to say things, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was being completely honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm being honest. I said, well, that for sure. And everybody in that audience, and everybody, all the producers, even the family and the host, when we went to commercial, he goes, everybody's saying, no way, they're booing. No way, that should have been up there. No way.
And I liked it how you were standing there and so confident, and you're like, nope, it's up there.
Yeah,
it is up there.
Because I was so sure. Because it's
so
one of the
what
most.
do you Google the most, Atish?
Porn.
Yeah.
Travel. I have Googled travel
Healthcare,
a lot.
yeah.
I know I travel and lately healthcare, right? So travel is one of the things that I hotels and trips.
And the
stuff.
other thing I saw was on there was, I think, recipes and stuff. People
Recipes,
Google all that stuff quite a bit.
Score, but even then the other family didn't get it. We had to steal, right? And then we came up with the answer: shopping.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody goes online and shops.
Shop, exactly.
Like, why isn't shopping there? Because everybody nowadays are shopping. Why are these stores closing down? Because it's online shopping.
Exactly.
Amazon.
Exactly.
And that wasn't up there.
Uh-huh. So, Atish,
just as sure I was about porn, I was sure about shopping as well. Right?
You know your stuff.
Shopping.
Yeah, it
Shopping
was
for porn.
hilarious. It was yeah. Let's take a quick break. We will be right back. And so what we want to talk about next is what did you learn from this adventure, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what the message is from you for our community out there, right?
Yeah, but before we go to a break, I just want to say one thing that we found out 4 days before we're supposed to go on air. They phoned us, they emailed us, and they said, this is the day that your show is going to air. And you know what that day was? January 22nd.
And what's special about January 22nd?
That's my dad's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And we'll be right back.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned to radiobulamasti.com.
Immigration news from Prask & Associates. To apply for a PR card, citizenship, need visa to Fiji, India, Australia, or anywhere in the world, want to migrate, call David Prasad now at 604-583-3435 at Prask & Associates.
Mula can go. This is your host, DJ Sam. Every Sunday I bring Fijian vibes on radiobulamasti.com. So you guys listen to me every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. In this program, I bring lots of sports update, lots of jokes, and lots of hustle and hustle. So make sure you guys listen to me every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Island Vibes on radiobulamasti.com. Kali Tunjano is Fijian Vibes every Sunday 5 to 7 p.m. You guys listen to me, Biswas karna.
Playing only the best music in the world. This is your number one radio station. Radio Bulamasti.
Welcome back to radiobulamasti.com, and you're joined in by Mr. Atish Ram, and I'm your host Aisha on radiobulamasti.com. You can listen to our program from anywhere in the world. दुनिया में कहीं पर भी आप हमारे जो programs है 24 hours सुन सकते हैं radiobulamasti.com पर. So Atish, so January 22nd is your dad's birthday.
Yeah, so when I got this email, I was baffled. All these things that had happened leading up to this, and when the kids came home, I told them, I said, and I actually emailed them. I actually forwarded that email to them, right? They were all shocked, and they said, well, what could we expect? Now, the chances of that happening, if we had taped in December when we were supposed to, it wouldn't have
Wouldn't
landed
have,
that day.
yeah.
And how the computer selected all the families to play at that sequence, and the way we were selected at that sequence was when that was going to air, because they tape shows in order. So because they were canceled and they taped we were the second family to play, it happened that it landed on the 22nd of January, right? And the thing is, I mean, we made it to sudden death, which was like even, and then my daughter went at the very end, and she just wasn't as fast enough on the buzzer, but she had the answer, right? But when we went out there, we realized, okay, well, we got defeated. We didn't feel bad about it, because for us it was never about the money.
You went
right?
in there to have
Yeah,
fun.
we went in there because somebody made us do it. Somebody that I had made a promise to made sure that I delivered that promise. Because how can those things happen? How can 2 years to the day that we get to go and be there 2 years
And
to
you're
the day?
thinking this is from your dad's blessings, and
it has to be.
he's
There's
with
no
you,
explanation.
making it happen for you.
It's too much of a coincidence.
Uh-huh.
And what I've really learned about this, Aisha, is the fact that our loved ones, they never go away. We have this belief that we do this 1 year thing, whatever, they're gone, right? This is a testament that they are always in you, no matter what,
around you.
And there's I've done a lot of things in my life, a lot of incredible things, and experienced a lot of incredible things, but never have I experienced such a, you call it a coincidence? I do not call it a coincidence. There's no way that these sequence of events, the way it happened, me getting to the hospital, getting the thing done, and then going to Toronto, and just having a vacation, because I think Dad wanted us to just have fun as a family, and we did. We come back, we go back, and it wasn't meant for us to win. I don't really care about that, because money you'll make, and
it's gonna
go away. But your memories,
memories
are gonna live forever. What we experienced and what our kids experience and what lesson they've learned, you can't teach it.
So what were some of the things your kids said to you, or even Mandy said to you, after you guys came out, like after you were done that show?
They were shocked at the fact that when we came out, we went and we celebrated. Regardless, we went out to eat and everything. Whatever. We got into a hot tub, and everything. We just had fun. We just we bonded with our kids, and everything, and they just ordered room service all the time, because they like to eat. My son, he's a foodie, like I said.
I heard you say that.
He's ordering like chicken strips at 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And I said, it's okay, they'll pay for everything, don't worry about it, whatever. So we're just having fun, right? And we came back, and we didn't even dwell on what we could have said, what we couldn't have said. It was all what it was. But the bigger story was the fact that I made a promise to my dad, and I delivered that promise. What other platform gives you that opportunity? I mean, my dad used to love game shows. He used to watch game shows all the time. This is the only show, and if you look at all the shows on television that are game shows, this is the only show that puts your last name on top.
True.
Family Feud is the only show that puts the RAM, your last name,
and what are
in
the
the back.
chances you're applying for that, and then getting in?
And getting it to that particular show, Wheel of Fortune doesn't have it, like Jeopardy, they don't have it. Like it's your last name all in big lights.
The board,
and that's what resonated with me. So for me, what we learned for the kids, they've changed. Like our kids have changed so much. In what way? Because they started understanding what importance of life is. They know that love and family are so important. Giving back is so important. All three of them do that. They coach basketball. They're just devastated with this whole Kobe Bryant thing. You should see my house right now. They're just so devastated, and they're so, because it's such a tragedy,
it's
right?
hit a lot of us.
And we're talking about that, and it's so ironic that this happened, because I lost my dad and went through grief. We're so caught up in wanting things and doing things. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, whatever, right? Or I'm better than you, whatever, right? We're
not happy with what we have. We always want something different, something new, something
I've changed.
more.
I've changed.
What would you do different now that from before?
I mean, I'm not going to change as a person. Who I am is who I am. There's people that like me. There's people that don't like me. What I'm going to do is don't care about it anymore.
I see. Okay.
I can't change an opinion of a person towards me. That's their opinion. I can't do anything to change that.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So am I going to listen to them and
change who you are?
No, I'm not, because if people know me for who I am, they know me for who I am. And if you don't like me, well, then don't be around me.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, I think that's what the message from this experience was. The dad was trying to tell me, just carry on. Just, I'm gone, but
Yeah.
I'm here,
Uh-huh.
and I'll look after you,
Mhm.
and I'll take care of you,
Mhm.
because I'll tell you something. I have dreams about him every,
Mhm.
not every day, but I think about him. And
Mhm.
when a person's gone, everybody will think about that person,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Mhm.
But I was not learning to accept it. I think I was running away from it.
Mm. You
But
didn't want to
this,
accept that he was gone.
yeah, and if or you look back and say, oh, I should have said that, I could have done this, I
Mhm,
could have,
mhm.
whatever. You start blaming
Mhm,
yourself.
mhm.
You can't blame yourself.
Mhm.
And I think you can't blame yourself for what you could have done.
Yeah.
You can't change
Mhm,
history.
mhm.
Like, our answer that we did, and we got defeated, I can't change that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I can do is
Mhm.
take that experience
Mhm.
and embrace it
Mhm.
and move forward,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And how do I move forward? Well, you move forward by understanding that that was a gift that was given.
Mhm.
And how many people in this world are going to get that opportunity,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? I mean, we were one of 2,000 people that actually applied,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then having it happen in the sequence that it did,
Mhm.
and the way it did, and having it
Mhm.
air on my dad's birthday,
Mhm.
like, come on, if that's
Yes. Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
sign, then I don't know what is,
Yeah.
right?
Because you don't have a choice on picking when they air,
We
what
don't
they do, right?
No, we don't have a
Yeah.
choice. We
Mhm.
went there when we were told to go, and we
Mhm.
went there. They gave us the tickets. We flew
Mhm.
there, and everything with that. But that was we had no control over that.
Mhm. Mhm.
We had no control over if we were going to win or if we were going to get the answer.
Yes.
I had no control over what I was going to say in my first answer. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just and the thing
It's
is,
just-
the thing is, I didn't know I was going to get famous from that 4-letter
Yeah,
word,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Because
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden, my kids are telling me, "Oh my God, Dad, you're going viral. You're going viral. There's this site. You've got 1,700 comments, and they're all backing you up, and you got 1.4 million people that's
Well,
seen this video." Like,
Atish, I'm gonna say one thing. You shouldn't even have to get to that point where someone's backing you up. It was an answer. You were
Yeah.
there for fun.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
that happens
Yeah.
in real life. It does happen.
Yeah.
So what I want to focus on is, if it's happening in our life,
Mhm.
talk about it. Don't
Mhm.
hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Don't hide it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I see, is we don't want to talk about certain stuff.
Because I mean, I mean, it's a topic. I mean, it doesn't mean that I Google the stuff all the time. But I mean, that's the point of this whole story is the fact that you're being authentic,
Mhm.
right? If
Mhm.
you're being authentic and being yourself and being honest, and you may offend people,
Mhm.
that's fine, because they're not working and putting food on my table.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
not.
Mhm.
I'm doing this for myself.
Mhm.
My job is to provide for myself,
Mhm.
my family,
Mhm.
and raise them to be good human beings and
But
respect
you
everybody.
do care about
right?
what people think.
I don't.
Or
Like this,
or
I don't anymore. This is
you
what
don't anymore. So this is what
I've
you
learned.
learned
I've learned
from.
that I don't really care about people's opinions anymore, because they don't put food on my table,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
They don't. They can say whatever they want.
Mhm.
They can.
Well, you can't control what they
You
say.
can't control.
You can't
You
control
know,
what they say.
Okay. The famous quote, right?
Uh-huh.
You can't change what people say about you,
No.
but you can
You can
change your reaction
how
to
you
them.
react to it. Yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right?
So what is one message you want to give out to our community out there?
I think not just our community. I think for everybody.
For
right?
everyone.
For everybody
Yeah,
is
for
like,
everyone.
live your true self, right? Your loved ones are still in your
Mhm,
heart, and they'll
mhm.
always be in your heart.
Mhm.
You just got to find and see the clues.
Mhm.
They're giving you clues all the time,
Mhm.
right? You just got to open your eyes and see the clues, because they are. And the thing is, nobody wants to see anybody hurt in any way, or and the thing is, we shouldn't be comparing each other,
No, we should not be
because everybody's the same.
Mhm,
Like, homeless person on the street
Mhm,
is
the same as
same
someone
as a
living in
person,
a big mansion, right?
and what race, what religion, whatever,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't really matter, because
Mhm.
you cut my hand, I
Mhm.
bleed red just like everybody else,
Mhm.
right? So you shouldn't judge people,
Mhm.
because we are so fast to judge people.
Mhm. That's right.
And if you live your life, and I'm going to be honest here, like, yeah, I've judged people.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
We all do.
Like, I'm
We
not
all do.
perfect. Believe
Yeah,
me, I'm not
yeah,
perfect. Whatever, right? I'm just learning
Uh-huh.
as I'm going through life,
Mhm.
right? We have one shot at life.
Mhm.
Okay, we all have one thing in common.
Mhm.
It's time.
That's right.
The day we're born
Mhm.
and the day we die. It's
Mhm.
what we do in between that time that differentiates all of us,
Mhm.
right? So what you contribute, like at the end of the day, if I'm sitting in my deathbed, what are you going to remember about me? Are you going to remember the car I drove? Are you going to remember the house I lived in?
No, I'll remember your answer.
You remember our answer. That's my legacy, right? You remember the kind of human being, the person that I was, and
That's
how I
right.
impacted your
Yeah.
life,
Uh-huh.
right? If I impacted your
For
life
sure.
in a negative way,
Mhm.
you won't forget that.
Mhm.
But when I'm gone, you're gonna forget that because you're gonna always remember the
But
good
the
things.
good stuff. The
You're gonna
good
remember the
stuff.
good things,
Exactly.
right?
So do good.
Do good, be authentic, and support one another.
Mhm.
I mean, stop being don't compete.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, we compete in the game, whatever,
Yeah.
right? We compete in sports
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
That's fine, but I mean, that's just for your own self. But
Mhm.
like just be
Be
yourself and
yourself.
be
Be
normal,
yourself.
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, people judge you and say things behind your back. Why?
Mhm.
Because they want to feel good by themselves.
Mhm.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
So if somebody's going to say things behind my back,
Mhm.
and if that's making them feel good,
Mhm.
then fine. Then
Yeah.
keep saying it.
Yeah.
If it's making you feel good,
Uh-huh.
then that's good.
But that's what you mean, Ki. You don't care
I,
what
I
they're
don't let it
thinking
affect
about
me.
you.
I don't
Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
affect me. This is what I
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah.
I don't let it
Mhm.
affect me because if I get affected by it,
Mhm.
it's going to consume me.
Consume you.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm not
Mhm.
going to allow it.
Mhm.
I'm not give
Mhm.
them a chance to do that. And the
Mhm.
only way I can stop it is not to react.
Not to react.
Right?
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Atish. Very, very good message out there for everyone out there, not just our community.
Mhm.
And our radio is being listened to by different communities all over the world.
Mhm.
So, and that's one of the reasons why I did most of the interview in English as well. So, a lot of people that do listen, that don't understand Hindi, they get to understand and experience, feel get to know about your experience as well. So thank you so much for taking your time
My
out.
pleasure. Thank you for having me. And there's always angels that walk among us.
Very true. Thank you so much once again. And thank you for choosing Radio Bulamasti. And always a pleasure having you here with us. Great role model for myself. And I know you've been around in the community as well. Thank you so much. You're tuned in to radiobulamasti.com. I'm your host, Aisha. And with me, I have Mr. Atish Ram. If you have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call here at the studio or put your comments on the video that we had done live. So once again, a big thank you to everyone that was listening to us. Excuse me, on the radio, and also viewing us through the live video.
Can I say something?
Of
Real
course you
quickly?
can.
I got somebody here who just actually wrote a poem.
All right.
For me, and it's and this it says, "Though I'm gone and you're torn, collect yourself and carry on."
You want to repeat that again?
It's Ham Kumar actually. He said,
Mhm.
"Though I'm gone and you're torn, collect yourself and carry on."
Thank you so much, Ham. So true. Hard to let go, but you gotta
But you
move
gotta move
on.
on.
Gotta move on, right?
Thanks,
Very
A-
well said.
Thanks, Aisha.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned to radiobulamasti.com. We'll carry on with our regular program.
In a world of technology, the future is online. Tune in to www.radiobulamasi.com. Radiobulamasi.com.